Blizzard are done with looking for dungeon. There's no more hope for LFD returning. Wrath Classic gets woke. Let's see what's up.
No auto group finder, but we are getting an improved group finder for Wrath of the Lich King. Blizzard have given a preview of it, just saying it's got, you know, new look, modern code, basically works better and more usable.
Okay.
Roles, they're introducing roles into the UI. Partial groups can broadcast which slots they have open, and individuals can specify whether they're willing to tank, heal, do damage, or multiple. Alright, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah. And then all roles are open to all classes to, I guess, enable madness if you want to do that. Solo listings and multiple activities, because they envision this as a bulletin board where you can just sort of list what you want to do. So they're supporting listings from both solo individuals and partially filled groups, and if you can't decide which dungeon you want to run, that's okay, you can list yourself for multiple dungeons. Great. Requesting invites and suggesting invites, and that basically it should be the single source for your group finding needs. Sending messages in the looking for group chat channel will require being listed.
Oh, that's very big. That's very big. I think that's good. I think that's good.
Maybe it's just going to go boost groups and listing.
Of course it will be.
That'll be fun for them.
Yeah, of course it will be, which means... please. No, I can't even say it. I know they would. I was going to say please just make boosting against TOS, but no, it's...
Do it for Wrath.
They're never going to do that. It's too many players, it's too much movement, it's too much. It's the same way that... I see this as an extension of the same reason why RMT back in the day wasn't just... We have a vague sense you're an RMT, and the GM just snipe you out of the game. It was never like that. They always wanted the player experience to be fine. So whenever someone was like caught RMTing or buying, they were like, okay, well, we'll take your gold away, and we'll see if we can find the seller and destroy them, but we'll leave you there. I think it's the same for boosting, where they're like, there's a genuine demand for this. We can't just destroy people for the demand because it's a natural thing they want to do. I think that's fundamentally the problem, and that's sad because I'd love them to just try it. Like, yeah, fuck this whole thing. We're taking... I was just about to completely go on a Senator Armstrong rant there for a second, where it says we'll take this into our own hands. But yeah, I'd love to see that, but otherwise, actually, that's a good point. Hopefully it's like there's a really good way to get rid of boosting groups, or report them, or they make it like not allowed.
Yeah, so let's just take a look at it.
Yeah.
Right, so here's all your different categories, right?
Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, this is... Hey, isn't this the... Isn't this the regular one? I think no one likes restrictions in an ideal world. Which individual player would build their groups using whatever tools they deem best for the job. However, we have observed that group finding is a social coordination problem, and there's value in funneling everyone through the same system. If we can create a single source through which all group finding is done, all players will reap the benefits. Huh?
Then here is listing yourself for multiple different things.
Okay.
Here's some of the browsing UI then for some...
Group finder, dungeons, 8 activities selected. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. So you can... Oh, okay, because in the previous one, could only choose one activity to like list yourself for. Here you can at least list yourself for multiple. Okay,
So
that's good.
has got 8 activities selected. You can kind of go over all the different players. So, yeah, do that kind of thing. Right, so here's a group that has a tank, has a healer, Violet Hold, saying the LF healer and tank DPS, LF healer and DPS. So yeah, it's what you would expect. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually
Looks good.
It looks, and this is going to be kind of probably annoying for some people. Blizzard, that looks way better than the pretty big group finder we have in terms of like base usability and stuff. It actually looks quite nice.
Yeah, so we'll have to play around with
all of the little like class icons and stuff looks wonderful.
Yeah, those are like nice flavor. So basically that's it. Of course though, someone's going to put item level or gear score into this damn thing. So that'll happen. But really, I do think Like, this just cannot become a hive of boosting posts. Because
the
if people...
problem.
Yeah, it just can't. So I really hope they can do something there. Now, as for some Q&A... Right then. Will there be a restriction on it like we have in the retail to counteract stuff? Although it couldn't be a high-level restriction. Basically say that they will be requiring an authenticator to create a listing with custom text, the same as mainline WoW. And if somebody's being disruptive or breaking code of conduct, you can report their listing. Our expectation is the existence of this UI will greatly cut down on the amount of spam in the channel and hopefully make opting into using the chat channel a better experience for everyone. Okay.
Doubt it.
Would it be possible to...
All of the spamming in the in the channels is basically boosters. So
get an explanation of the inner workings. How do the buttons work? What does request to join do? So just saying that the screenshots they've shown are whip. They're already planning some changes, such as combining the dungeon and heroic dungeon category, and having better separators within a category. But to answer those questions specifically, request to join will push a pop-up to another group's party leader, letting them know about your request.
No.
And as a side note, this can also be used outside the group finder, such as if you want to join another party you meet in the world. If a listing is already in search results, you'll see updates to it as the group changes. So I guess that just means no, it's refreshing and stuff.
Yeah.
Ultimately, screenshots and explanations aren't a substitute for the feedback we'll get from real players forming real groups who are eager to get into your hands quickly. I believe the term is soon TM, and of course, it's live now, and this is in it. Cool. So there you go. Good shit, basically. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Wrath.
Mr. Join will push a pop-up to another group's party leader, letting them know about your request. If they accept, you'll receive an invite to the group. Side note, this can also be used outside of the group finder, as if you want to join another party you meet in the world. Okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, overall, good change. I believe this is... It's not that they're... It's just an improve. It's not like they're done with LFD. It's just like it's an improved version. I believe Stoop suggested something similar to this in one of his videos, like a long time ago, before it became a Lost Ark shill. Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with this overall. I feel like this is a good change. I really love that this makes leveling and getting my daily heroic done a pain in the ass. Why? Anyone that has played Classic for any extended period of time know that the problem with the finding groups for anything is that it's less efficient than buying boosts. It also requires more effort than being boosted, so people just boost constantly. Then don't play the game. Look, I hate when people make these arguments. Bro, play for yourself, first of all. It's like, stop buying boosts if you feel like... I don't get it. Like, why are people boosting, man? I've never boosted anything in my life. It makes no sense to me. If I, like, to the point where if I take a break from a character for, let's say, multiple years. Let's say I had a Death Knight. And, so, like, I main a Paladin, right? But sometimes I create a Death Knight. And the Death Knight gets to max level and becomes kind of relevant to the current content. Maybe not Mythic rating, but, like, heroic, like, AOTC level, right? And then I don't play him for the rest of the expansion until like the end of the next expansion. And I log into that Death Knight. I cannot play it anymore. I don't feel like it's mine anymore. To the point where I literally have multiple Paladins and multiple Death Knights across realms because I cannot play the same character if I didn't feel like I earned it. So it's like, even though I did in those cases because I did level them, but it's like it's been so long that it's like they don't feel like they belong to me anymore. People who boost don't have the problem that I have, which is like, well, just boost my character up and I'll play it after. I don't know, I do not feel like I can, like the character is mine. Like, it's worth for me to invest in the character because I didn't build it. Even though every max level Paladin is the same as every max level Paladin, doesn't really matter. But it just feels like I didn't earn it, like it's not mine. Anyone that played Classic for any extended period of time knows that the problem with finding groups or anything is that it's less efficient than buying boosts. Listen, this is not to do with Classic. Boosts are always the most efficient way to do anything. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean there are not enough people who are not boosting. It's like, why are you playing what, like, Wrath to, like, fucking waste all your money and get boosted? Like, what's the point of the game then? You're not earning anything. It's like people who buy the cutting edge kill. It's like, why are you doing this? You didn't earn anything. Well, for the mount means nothing. Just go get it later on, like in 2 expansions. These mounts don't mean shit. Oh my god, one of the reasons LFD was introduced was for people on certain servers to get groups, period. While yes, this is great until the server pops half after launch outside of a handful of mega servers and you cannot find a tank on your server to do anything. The idea of servers are antiquated, and while it does help the sense of the community somewhat, finding people to play the game takes priority. This had cross-server functionality, it would be the best thing ever. Maybe it would. Maybe it will have that. You don't know. I have a theory about this. I'm afraid that it's done to time gate players due to travel time, etc. And this will lead to people use more time to level up gear and gearing up alts, etc. Maybe I'm too paranoid, but I don't think it's done for the player base. Disclaimer, I stopped my sub due to they removed LFD. For me personally, it was a great thing. I met new people and new guilds. Maybe, do I not understand this correctly? What's the difference between this and the previous one? The single source for your group finding needs. We're aiming for this group finding UI to be a one-stop shop for all your group finding needs. To that end, we're reviving an old rule from the original Burn Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. Sending messages in the looking for group chat channel will require being listed in the UI. You might be thinking no one likes restrictions. In an ideal world. What's the restriction? Request, invite, and suggest invite. To smooth out group information, we are adding request and suggest invite. That's fine. Solo listings and multiple activities. We envision this group finder as a bulletin board where players can list activities they want to do and discover others who want to do the same. What's the am I crazy? What's the problem with this? We have rebuilt the UI to be easier to read. We're introducing roles in the UI in Wrath Classic. Partial groups can broadcast which slots they have open, and individuals can specify whether they are willing to tank, heal, deal damage, or do multiple of the above. Roles are intended to expedite communication, not stifle gameplay creativity, so for the moment we are keeping all roles open to all classes. I mean, can you be a tanking rogue? No? Solo listings and multiple activities. We envision this group finder as a bulletin. Okay, like what? I don't see the problem. Look for healers and DPS. Look for healer and DPS. What's the problem? We're aiming to have our new group finder deliver an effective, efficient, and enjoyable group finding experience, and we want the help of you and other players in getting there. We'll have a fully functional test version of the group finder available on day 1 of the Wrath. The thing is, people who play Classic used to say that looking for group was, or LFD basically, was one of the worst things that happened in Wrath of the Lich King. Now they're removing it, adding something else, and people are complaining that they're removing it, which would make leveling take longer or something like that. Like, I heard that in a CDank or something video, which is like, you cannot please these people. Like, there's nothing you can do to please these people. This is so bizarre. We're planning to require an authenticator to create a listing with custom text, same as mainline WoW. Additionally, okay, custom text, okay, that's fine, because then you can't be a bot. Will it be possible to get an explanation on the inner working of the group finder, like how each button works and requests? I should have mentioned in my original post that the screenshots are very much work in progress. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. To your specific question, request to join will push a pop-up button, something something. Ultimately, screenshots and explanation are a substitute for the feedback, blah blah blah. Bro, like, am I crazy? This doesn't sound like a bad.
Should I fresh start? Maybe I will, just to make sure I get an economy that hasn't been pre-ruined by boosting on MT.
Bro, I wish everyone goes on a fresh server, so all the bots will go there to ruin their economy. Not because I'm malicious, because that's exactly what's gonna happen. Everyone who's like saying like fresh is gonna be the best, fresh is the best, bro, the more players go to fresh, the more bots will go there. like someone was making the arguments like that Elysium or Nostalrius didn't have bots and shit. Bro, they had like 3,000 players, man. Who's gonna waste their fucking money on botting those servers, right? It's like, oh, and like it made no sense. Like you're not gonna have any buyers, right? It's like when you have 300,000 people, you know, you're gonna get buyers. When you have 3,000, it's like no one cares. Like it's so dumb. Anyways, yeah, that's it for the video, and I'll see you in the next one.